Mike McCool here in the Royal Examiner Studio, and with me today is Sgt Laura Gomez.
Hi.
Laura is a deputy with the Warren County Sheriff's Office. She is, I think, aren't you in charge of the Animal Control Division?
I am.
Last time she was here, she brought her guard dog with her.
My little chihuahua.
Yeah, they're mean.
They are.
Or not mean, but they're not scared of big dogs.
No, they don't know that they're a little dog.
No, they're. Yeah, they don't do that. So today we're going to talk a little bit about animals and particularly how hot it is outside in the heat and leaving them in our cars. And then we're going to touch a little bit on fireworks safety about animals and kids too as well. So Laura, talk to us about the heat and the situation that we got to watch for.
It's been extremely hot lately, and we typically get a lot of calls about people traveling with their pets, this, that, and the other. So generally what happens is people go out traveling, they go to the store, they expect to only be in the store 5-10 minutes.
That never happens.
No.
It's like, I'm just going to run in and buy milk and bread, and you come out with a whole cart full of, I know.
Absolutely, and especially with most things being like self-checkout now,
Sure.
It takes a lot longer. Some people have vehicles where they can leave the air conditioning running, which is fantastic. And sometimes you can't even tell because of the electric cars that they're actually running.
Right.
But the problem with that is air conditionings do fail in vehicles, and pets do die because of that. There are apps you can put on your phone. So if you did leave your car running, and it would notify you if the AC stopped working. There's different safety measures you can get for things like that. Most people who travel with their pets absolutely love their pets. That's why they take them with them.
Right.
But when it's really hot outside, the best thing you could do is leave them at home, just to keep them safe. But when traveling with them, cracking the windows in a parking lot, that doesn't give them sufficient airflow. So the best thing to do is either leave someone with them in the vehicle and leave the car on, or again, leave them at home if you can.
Right.
So.
Well, most of our pets aren't like people. We think we can tolerate the heat, or we see animals outside all the time, but these have been domesticated, and the kind of animals they are, they don't cool off like.
They don't.
No.
And so if we get a call, say someone should say, if someone went inside, left their dog in the vehicle, it's 90 degrees outside. Well, in a matter of 5 to 10 minutes, it's over 110 degrees in that vehicle. And animals don't sweat like we do.
Right.
So they pretty much cool themselves off through respirations, somewhat in their pads. But it won't take long after, 107 degrees in a vehicle for them to start to suffer heat stroke.
Right. We see that tongue hanging out. It's about a foot long,
And so if you do have to travel with your pet, if you can bring, cold water with you in a cooler, sometimes freeze a gallon jug.
Right.
And keep that with you. If your dog would become overheated, you need to get it immediately to a cool area. Cold compresses. Get it plenty to drink if it will drink, and then, cool compresses under its armpits, under its belly, and the biggest thing would be to get it to a vet immediately.
Yeah, it's don't realize how quick things like that happen. I was talking to some guys this morning down on Main Street, and they said, if you're going to play golf, they play golf all the time. Too hot to play golf. Well, you can imagine, if it's too hot for these guys to play golf, it's too hot to have your dog in the car.
Absolutely, they're dedicated.
Yeah, it's serious. I mean, because you see all the time, and it happens quite often, people leaving their pets in the car or their young kids. And that's really the same thing, or babies in the car. Oh, well, just a minute, or you pull in to talk to somebody, and you're standing outside your car, and you don't realize how hot it is in the back there.
And that's exactly what happens. People go into the store for 5-10 minutes. It's cool in there. They forget what's going on outside.
Yeah.
And even if you park your vehicle in the shade and leave the windows cracked, it's not going to be sufficient when it's 90 degrees outside.
Right. We got to just take a little extra step to make sure our pet members are taken care of. Yeah.
And so if you do see, give us a call. You can call the non-emergency number. But if they do look there in stress, you could call 911.
Yeah.
And we'll respond. And
I see you got something called an infrared thermometer here. How does that work?
So basically,
you're going to shoot me with it here.
So we know on the way to a call, we'll note the temperature outside, and then basically when we arrive on scene, if the animal is in distress, we're going to immediately remove it. Whether we have to break the glass, we have tools to get into vehicles.
Sure.
So we don't have to do that if we can.
Yeah, it's hard to Slim Jim a new car.
Yeah. So if we have to, for a child or an animal, we're going to to break the glass, if they look like they're in distress. We generally try to go inside and make contact, ask them to be paged and find the owner. But the biggest thing would be to get the animal out safely. If we can just simply open the door, if it's unlocked, that's what we're going to do.
Yep.
But when we arrive, if the dog seems okay, we have these infrared thermometers, and we'll take a temperature. So like right now, the room is showing that it is 69 degrees in here.
Wow, it's comfortable.
Yeah, so it's pretty nice in here. But generally these read about 103 and above when we've gotten out to a vehicle. And we generally try to take 3 different temperatures. So one on the floorboard, one where the dog actually is, and then other locations. Because generally what the dog will do is go to the floorboard because it's where the shaded,
Sure.
Yeah. So we'll do that. You could be, like I said, most people travel with their pets actually like them. We can warn them, educate them, charge them with animal cruelty or inadequate care if we needed to. But generally we try to educate people and make sure their pet's safe.
Right. And most time it's just an accidental oversight. Like you say, most people love their pets and they don't want to have any harm come to them.
And they just completely forget.
Yeah, that reminds me with the July 4th coming up, people don't realize that dogs aren't really fond of fireworks. Most aren't.
No, so a lot of people's pets are pretty scared. Things that you can do to make sure your animal is safe and comfortable is if you know your animal doesn't do well with fireworks, talk to your vet now. They have medications to help keep them calm and relaxed while this is going on.
Sure.
Another big thing would be to make sure your animal's microchipped. Or just simply having a collar that you can write with a Sharpie your name and phone number. So if your animal would take off and get lost, someone finds it, it has your information. But if that collar comes off, if it has a microchip,
Right. And dogs do things when they're scared like that. No matter the best trained dog can sometimes take off on you in a heartbeat. I mean, fast.
Yes.
I know, and same way with fireworks, but like thunder and things that are storms that are coming, these thunderstorms that we have in the summertime, it's kind of like fireworks. And dogs will start trembling. And, we always took our dog into the basement where it was cooler and in a dark space and stayed down there in the evening. But you're right, we tried medication and it worked a little bit, but we traveled. But yeah, perfect pet any other time.
But that's those loud bangs.
That loud noise just did not like. As he got older, he didn't really care for it. Wasn't too bad when younger, but boy, when he got older, they did not like the thunder and they didn't like fireworks.
My neighbor used to get one of those thunder shirts.
Yeah, that's right. They have this little compression things that they wear, and
to
that
make
works.
Them feel safe. Yeah,
it does. It works. So it's amazing what. All the money we spend on our pets.
Exactly. Well, and also not just with dogs. If you have horses or livestock next door, horses are pretty scared of large bangs too. So you may want to talk to your neighbor if they do have horses and things like that, and just let them know.
Sure, yeah. It's just not dogs and cats.
It's all types of animals that respond, and people as well. Not all people are, comfortable with fireworks. So we all want to be out here celebrating, but just,
be safe.
Be safe and considerate of other people.
That's right. You don't want the popo to show up on your front door here and banging on it. I mean, they like fireworks too, but they want them done safely.
That's right. So we're all out trying to enjoy the 4th of July. So.
Yeah, that's right. If they come to your house, you better be on the barbecue because they want one of them hot dogs and hamburgers.
That's right. Well, and then the other thing right now with the hot temperatures is that some people leave their pets outside during the day. We do have a tethering ordinance in Warren County, and then the state law also has provisions for if your dog is tethered outside, it has to have adequate shelter. And if it is tethered, it has to come in once temperatures reach 85 degrees, or we're under a heat advisory or under a storm warning.
Wow, that's almost every day now.
Yep, and the big thing is shade. If you can do anything for your pet, is make sure it has shade available.
Right,
yep.
Yeah. It's a lot to do. I mean, it's like taking what you would do for yourself. Yes. Would you want to sit outside all day in the
direct sun?
Yeah, think about it, and that's really what you have to do. If you want to do it, then you better have your dog with you because then you'll know it's time to go in.
Yes, and then the thing for things like Huskies and German Shepherds, St. Bernards, those dogs don't do so well in the heat because of their coats.
They have tremendous heavy coats.
Yes.
It's a lot. I mean, a pet's a lot of responsibility.
It's a ton of responsibility.
Yeah, because they can't really talk as much as you think they can. They really don't talk to you too well. Or like your kid crying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, or when they stop making noise and stop trying to get your attention, that's when you know they're in distress.
Or they're up to something.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true. Kids or dogs,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
That's right. Well, Laura, I really appreciate you coming in. You got anything else on your list down there?
No, that was the biggest thing, was just, making sure everybody's taking the steps to talk to their vet and proper identification and keeping them cool.
That's kind of a year-round thing, too. You don't have to do it only in the summertime. It's the same thing goes for the cold.
Yep.
I mean, it can be too cold for us. And I think if it's too cold for you, it's too cold for your pet.
Absolutely.
Or too hot for you, it's too hot for your pet. I think that's pretty much a good way to look at it.
It is.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't be there, don't put your pet there.
That's right. Put your coat on and go outside in the heat, and then that's what your dog feels like.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a good point.
Yeah, yeah. Well, too bad Robbie didn't come with you, Lieutenant Seal. I mean, he normally wants to hog the limelight, and
He's a movie star.
that's right. People love it. I get a lot of comments on this thing, but people always said, "When are you coming back with your animals?" So next time we're going to have to bring that old hound dog.
I'll
with
bring
you.
bring my Chihuahua back with me.
Well, what's the hound dog's name? You got your tracking dog.
Oh,
That's not
Rooster.
Rooster. That's not really your area.
Nope,
but
that's canine, but Rooster is our bloodhound.
I seen him over there at the Hope of Rising Festival.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
He's a beautiful dog.
He's a beautiful dog. You're right, and just as you're like that dog can eat. He's a working dog, but he's friendly as can get out.
Oh yeah,
but
he's a big loving
yeah.
guy.
The deputy said he was a real good worker too. So
Oh yeah, he's
yeah,
great.
It is. It's amazing what animals do
I
and how we
know.
can train them to do things like that. Be service animals or guard dogs and hunting dogs and tracking dogs and drug dogs and
Yeah, they're pretty intelligent.
They're smarter than the average bear.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Dogs are one of the few animals. Dogs and sheep can read your body language. We can communicate with our animals with our eyes. I didn't realize that. I think, quote me wrong here, but I think those are the only two animals that communicate with their eyes.
I think
Dogs?
I think it's more than dogs and sheep.
think?
Oh yeah, I think
you must be a cat lover.
No, you know what? I'm just an animal lover in general, but I grew up with horses, and that is an animal that will absolutely read your body language.
It
in a
does.
second.
They do that, don't they? I mean, it's amazing how you can they look at you and they really tell you what's going on just by looking at you.
Oh yeah,
It's
I had a horse
amazing.
that if they knew you were scared, they'd buck you off in a second. So
Show no fear. That's
Nope,
what they
that's
tell
what it
you.
was.
Yeah. Again, Laura, really appreciate you coming in. You're welcome to come back anytime.
Thank you.
Without Robbie is okay, and we'll see if we can.
thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it, and say hi to the sheriff because it's his turn next. I'm heading over to his office here maybe next week and put him on the.
Well, that's good to
hold his feet to
know.
the fire. He likes me coming over there because he can control the situation. If it gets too serious, I got to go to a meeting. He
Right,
cuts
right.
me off. But the guys are doing good work. We hear great things about the sheriff's department, and so we appreciate all the work that you and your fellow deputies do for our community.
Well, thank you for sharing us.
Appreciate it. Thanks again, Laura.
Thank you.